Hello and welcome to News Liver Sports. I'm Moses Echodo, and like we always do here, we bring you nothing but the very best of sporting stories worldwide. And however, today we are going to be looking at particularly the transfer window, looking at the different stories, the different players that have been signed by your teams in England as we prepare for the English Premier League that gets to kick off this very Friday, which ideally means that the window does close at this Thursday at exactly 9 p.m. East African time and 5 p.m. UK time. So of course we're going to look at the different players, what they bring to the team, what advantage do they bring to the team, how will they make your teams better, and we're going to look at all that. And we'll kickstart with Chelsea. Remember that Chelsea have a transfer ban, however they have been able to sign two massive players, and that is midfielder Kovacic from Real Madrid for £40 million. And this is all because the way they had Niko Kovacic from Real Madrid on a season-long deal, so it was easy for them to be able to sign the midfielder and pay out the money that Real Madrid wanted, and that is exactly £40 million. And they got the midfielder, which I believe is a massive boost for them, because in a scenario where you don't have the likes of Bakayoko, because Frank Lampard does not see himself utilizing Bakayoko, and then of course you also know that Drinkwater is also leaving Chelsea, so Kovacic, massive signing for them, and will be able to offer a lot of coverage where the likes of Jorginho may not be available, probably in a scenario where that is Ross Barkley is not available, or even that is Kante is not available in this team. So Kovacic, massive signing for them. Christian Pulisic from Borussia Dortmund, brilliant signing, a brilliant player, one of the best creative midfielders that you have in European football at the moment. The American was very instrumental for Borussia Dortmund, despite them not winning the Bundesliga simply because they slagged a bit, and Bayern Munich came in there and walked out with the title at the end of the day. But Christian Pulisic is going to be a massive signing for them. Definitely not going to replace Eden Hazard, but has the ability to give them semblances of performances that Eden Hazard gave them throughout the entire campaign that he was at Chelsea. And of course, on the other side, we now take ourselves straight to Manchester United and look at the signings that were done by United. Remember that before the transfer window, we all knew that Ander Herrera was leaving Manchester United. We knew that Marouane Fellaini was also leaving Manchester United. So we had expected that the first order of business for Manchester United was to beef up on their backline, which they have done impressively. They have brought Harry Maguire, one of the best defenders in English football, and then of course they did not really buy any. They have not signed any midfielder. Probably were hoping that in the next 48 hours they'll be able to sign next 24 hours they'll be able to sign a midfielder. They were looking at Bruno Fernandes, but they not signed him. They were looking at Paulo Dybala. They fell out with him. Paulo Dybala was not more of a midfielder. He was more of an outright forward-going person. So he can play as a striker, also as a midfielder, but a going forward midfielder. So you're looking at places, say in the wings, or just right behind the strikers. So he was never really going to be your outright replacement in that deep midfield section. So where now I think they're going to focus so much on playing that is Nemanja Matic, and probably throw in that is McTominay, or once in a while throw in Paul Pogba in the deep end as well. They brought on that is Daniel James, brilliant winger from Swansea City, so much promise in his game. You can see that he loves to run behind the defenders. You can see that he has that ability to cross the ball perfectly, has the ability to score the goals as well. And he comes in there, and you're probably thinking that with Alexis Sanchez struggling to assert himself in this team, that is Daniel James is going to be one of those signings that United will probably look at and think to themselves, we have a player that we can rely on. And then on the other hand, that is Arsenal as well. United as well went ahead and signed that is a defender, that is Harry Maguire, who for me I believe that has been one of those defenders that everyone should be able to look at and think to themselves, such a massive player, has the ability to run behind defenders, has the ability to create so many chances. And then of course as well he has a good percentage when it comes to throwing the ball forward, so that is creativity for you from a defender. Had a most figures when it comes to crossing the ball into the final third of opposition, and that's the kind of creativity that you want from your defenders. However, when you look at his defensive abilities, one of the best game readers of the game, has good interception rates, has good block rates as well, and you realize that with the kind of partner that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will choose for him will determine how much of an influence Harry Maguire will have in this Manchester United side. And you look at Manchester United and you're also thinking that if they can probably partner him alongside Chris Smalling, Dalot in there, you're thinking that probably they can be able to get the best out of him. However, sorry, I'm talking about Lindelof, and so there's a lot that could go on at Manchester United. But at the end of the day, you're looking at how they have number 3 in Luke Shaw. Then you're looking at how they have a fantastic number 2 in Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a new signing for them as well, massive when it comes to going forward. Has that going forward and very good when it comes to backtracking. Has very good clearances. Has a good game reading as well. And so Aaron Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace is going to be a massive signing. Of course, they're signing for £55 million, and then of course that is Harry Maguire, another impressive signing for them. Is now the most expensive defender. Could there be pressure for the player? Definitely, there's always going to be pressure as long as you're signing for such massive amounts of money. But at the end of the day, I believe that Harry Maguire, with all the knowledge that he has, with all the experience that he has playing at a club like Leicester City, he has the ability to come and contain the pressure at United and be able to deliver for the Red Devils when the season does finally begin. And then of course, we look at the other side as well. I think that we now switch focus to, that is Arsenal. Arsenal have been very busy in this transfer window. Went ahead and signed Dani Ceballos from Real Madrid. Great box-to-box midfielder, should be coming in there and helping to relieve Mesut Ozil from all the backtracking that has been so much expected of him, which has reduced on how much he's been able to create chances for the likes of Aubameyang and Lacazette. And then of course they have also gone ahead and signed Saliba, who they loaned back to Saint-Etienne, a brilliant defender, but we're yet to see him playing in the English Premier League. But again, Arsenal finally making a huge money signing in Nicolas Pepe. We talked about him here a few weeks ago, and we saw how much he's able to do. Scored 22 goals for the French outfit that finished second in the French League A. He was very instrumental in creating goal scoring opportunities for them as well. Was also very impressive at AFCON for Ivory Coast, and you're thinking probably with him coming into Arsenal, he's going to try and add a little bit of manpower going forward for Arsenal, creating a brilliant trio alongside Lacazette, that is, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, with Mesut Ozil or Ceballos playing right behind them. We have also had rumors that Arsenal could be in to sign that is Philippe Coutinho, former Liverpool player. However, that is subject to announcement or subject to confirmation, because we really don't think that Arsenal will be going in for Philippe Coutinho with so much interest on them going down to their defensive setup. Of course, they are looking at Rugani, they are looking at that is Diot from RB Leipzig, and then of course they are also looking at that is Kieran Tierney from Celtic. So there is so much that is going on at Arsenal, but again it comes down to what Arsenal are going to do on the day. However, they have been really busy in this transfer window. However, their business has not been in the most important department. Their business has been a department that it really doesn't really need beefing up. They have been signing they have been signing midfielders and mostly forward. So the question is for Arsenal, can they get in the transfer market before the 24 hours elapse and be able to sign a massive defender or 2 defenders or even 3, because remember that they have lost Laurent Koscielny to Bordeaux in France, and so that is where Arsenal are at the moment. Liverpool, on the other hand, have only signed Adrian because Jurgen Klopp came out and said, I'm only going to spend £40 million if I've seen a talent and can come and improve us at the end of the day. And so far he has not seen any. He believes that the squad that he has at Anfield will be good enough to help him push until the end of the the campaign. At Tottenham Hotspur, they have not really been so busy. They have just been pointing fingers here and there and distracting so many others. They managed to get Ndombele from Lyon, a fantastic winger for them as well. Got bags of pace, bags of skills, and should be able to see what he will be able to offer for them at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, I think that he's going to be a massive signing for them as well, because he's really got the experience. He knows the technical know-how of how to get the job done. On the other hand, I think those are the teams. Manchester City managed to sign Rodri. I believe that he's been probably one of the only signings. And then, of course, they're looking at Juventus defender, that is that is Cancelo. Is going to probably is in a swap deal. He's already expected in Manchester to have his medical today, and so. With two signings, Rodri, massive signing, comes in space for, that is, Fernandinho. Fernandinho is still around. However, with Rodri, he plays more or less the kind of football that Pep Guardiola loves, and that is a tic-tac kind of football. And he fits right into the building, has the ability to pass the ball around, has the ability to make great interceptions. And for those who watch the Community Shield, you saw what he did against Liverpool. Absolutely fantastic stuff from him. And I think that is going to be a massive addition to this Manchester City side, which will make them an even greater side in the English Premier League this season around. And then, of course, on the other hand, we're going to talk about, that is Cancelo comes into this team. I remember that I've been struggling with really a number 3, as Mendy has been more of a social media king and a hospital attendant, because for the biggest part of his career he's really been in the hospital more than he has been on the pitch. And so we're thinking to ourselves, with Cancelo coming in from Juventus, is definitely going to be a massive signing. So those are some of the deals that we have been looking at from the top teams in the English Premier League. And now the question is, do you think that the players that you have signed are going to be of a great addition to your side at the end of the day? And can you be able to chase for the Premier League title? Because I've looked at mainly the teams that are vying, or that everyone looks at and thinks to themselves, this is a team to win the Premier League. Remember, you cannot write off the teams like Wolves, who have also been very busy. Aston Villa have been the Fulham of this season, but again, it comes down to, can we see them deliver at the end of the day? It's me, Moses Echodo, and the entire News Liver Sports team, and we're saying thank you so much. Do not forget to click on the subscribe button, and we'll be back with what happened after deadline day transfers.